Hey everyone, this site I've created to create. Welcome back to my channel. If you're not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. Today I have a project share. I have been playing with creating Carolyn's boxes, and I said that I wanted to make an autumn one or a fall one, and I did just that. And I want to share what I used and a thing that I missed on my Christmas box I wanted to share with you guys. On my Christmas box, I forgot to share that I put Santa in the little door. Look at Santa. He's decorating his tree. And these little cards do come in the house, in one of the, I think it's the holiday home finishing school craft box, and they have those little cards right there, and they fit perfect. It's a perfect scale to go in the door, and that was the Christmas one that I forgot to share with you guys. But this house is actually a haunted house. I have it right here so you guys can see what it looks like. It's the one that comes with the tree, and it is called Haunted House Dies. Yeah. So it is the haunted house, and even though it's the haunted house, that doesn't look like a haunted house. I didn't have to trim anything out of the windows, and it does come with a tree, it comes with an owl, and then it comes with the jack-o'-lantern. I will probably never use the jack-o'-lantern, but the owl, I could cut that out in white and make it a winter owl. And it's so small that it's perfect. Perfect. And as a matter of fact, I might cut it for the one I just created. Let me give it a little thought. Because those little elements are the right scale to add different accessories, or to accessorize your little houses. The die that I played with today, or yesterday, I just completed it today, is one that was gifted to me by Rennie McCoy. And it's also the 3D easel haunted house die. In this one, I did have to cut out a couple things. Like, I cut out part of this, the window right here. I did cut out a little section of that. Not all of it, just a little section. And on this one, and the one with the ghost, and then the pumpkin up here. So I did have to do just a couple snips, nothing major. And this one comes with the little pumpkin, the little ghost, the little bat, and that's probably not something I would use. I might use a bat because those are natural, you know. And I noticed one thing about this die. The roof part, the shingles part, it only comes with one. So I believe it's the one on this side. But I happen to own the, let me share it with y'all, the set that has all the windows. This one. I happen to own the one that comes with all the windows, and this one right here is the one that goes to that house. So this has all the different windows to her houses and doors, and you can cut them all out at the same time. This roof is the opposite side of the one that comes with the die set, so that worked out great because I had a left and a right. And I was cutting just whatever came with the set, and finally I said, why am I struggling? I pulled this out, ran it through my machine, and that was most of the pieces that I needed. So this cuts out 8 windows, you know, 6, 7 shutters. It cuts out the, oh, also another thing, on this house, the windows that are up here, there's not a die in the set. In the haunted house easel card, there isn't a die for those windows. But in the one that comes for all the doors and all that, they do come. Those windows are on this one. So definitely, if you don't own this, this is a must-have. I don't make anything out promoting Anna Griffin products, but I'm just telling you my experience, and for me it was totally worth it. And I was glad that I had the 2 windows that were missing, and the other side, not that they were missing, but they weren't included in the die set, and the other side to the roof, because I don't like cutting my paper backwards, because it just doesn't look the same. But if you have the set and you have this, then you have a left and a right to the shingles on the roof. So I really, really, really was glad that I had that. Thank you, Rennie. I enjoyed so much playing with this die set. And then what else did I use? I also used this piece right here, and this was from the Create 8 box, and these are called finely feathered dies. And I didn't use the feathers, but I did use this piece right here, and it embosses beautifully. It is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I did use that. As I'm going, I will share with you what I use in case I forgot, because I normally do forget to mention things. The paper pad that I'm working with, I hardly ever share my paper pads because I haven't bought paper pads in a very long time, and chances are the pads are no longer available. But the paper pad, let me move this to the back. The paper pad that I used is this one, is Pumpkin Minds, and this was a hot buy at Michael's. So this is a paper pad by Recollections, and it is Pumpkin Minds. And this paper is gorgeous, especially for me that I love the blues. It's gorgeous. It's just absolutely beautiful. The only thing, it's not traditional autumn colors. I tried to make it work. I don't know if I succeeded, but I'm happy with the results. So let me share my little autumn box with you guys. Look at that. I had a piece of packaging that had the bubble piece that is up. I think it's called a clamshell, and it's there's a little edge right there, see? So it actually goes up and across, and it was in a rectangle size. It was the perfect size for this box that I was working with. So I wanted it to look like the leaves were floating. I don't know if you can see, but I have some little sequin there that are fall leaves, and they're tiny, 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 tiny. And they actually cling to the acetate, which I love because it looks like they're free, like they're floating in the wind. But I made this one into a shaker. Look at that, you guys. Is that gorgeous or what? So I made this one into a shaker by adding that clamshell there and another piece of acetate in the back, and it was the perfect size. And I love, love, love the way it came out, because I didn't want to make the shaker part, shadow box shaker, inside where the house is, but I did wanted it to look like the leaves were just caught up in the wind. And I really don't have any fall Anna Griffin products, but I did have some embellishments from that class. So I just added a sticker right there of a leaf. And here is one of Anna Griffin's borders. These are the 12-inch borders. And I did have a word in my stash that I bought a couple years ago, maybe more than a couple. I've had it for several years, and it says autumn. I love, love, love the way it came out. Right here in the corners where I use those pieces, because my paper doesn't have fall colors. It has blues and gold, and that's not really a traditional fall color, but I wanted to add the traditional fall colors, like the way the leaves turn during the fall. And I tried to make it work. I'm not sure, it probably would have looked better with gold, but I wanted to add copper, and that's what I did, and I like it, but gold probably would look better, to be quite honest. And all I did to here, I just added a strip from the paper collection, and then because I didn't like the way you could see the white in the corners, I just added one of Anna Griffin's sticker fall leaves to the corners on either side, and it's the opposite, so it's the left and the right, and I did the same at the other end. But I love the way it looks. Look at that. On the bottom, I left it white. And if you notice, this house that's here is actually sitting up better than the Christmas one. Is leaning back just a bit. This one is not. because I added a dimensional sticker behind the house, and I double layered the foam. So and I did use magnets on this. That wouldn't have made the difference. The difference is when I added the piece, and it wasn't making a difference. When I added the dimensional um, frame to the back, then it lifted it up and now it's straight. So let me open this box so you guys can see what it looks like. Look at how gorgeous. So here's the inside of the box. I didn't do anything. I left it all white. And this does have double layer acetate. And this acetate here, it looks dark because it is. This is an acetate that was gifted to me by my friend Jacqueline. And it has like a smoky color to it. And that was perfect because I wanted it to look like a fall evening or an autumn evening. And I remembered that the paper, that the acetate she gave me had that smoky look to it. So it worked perfect in this case. And I did add another frame just to finish it off and clean it up where I had added the acetate because I felt it looked a little messy and I wanted to clean it up. But there's the shaker portion to the lid. And I thought about adding a tree inside because I had enough depth in this packaging. But I decided not to because, you know, I didn't want to cover up too much of the house. But that is what I did here. And here's the gorgeous house. But you see the papers are blue and an ivory. So they're not really traditional fall colors. But that's what I had in my stash. So that's what I decided to go with. I cut the house out of one of the pattern papers from there as well, which had blue and the ivory. But then I added the roof parts with a dark, like a charcoal gray, and also the shutters. And then my accent color for all my window frames was the copper. And look at the windows. You can't even tell that I cut anything out of them. They don't even look like it was a haunted house and that it had a bat and a pumpkin and different things. It's gorgeous. This little tree came from that first house that I used for the Christmas one, that haunted 3D haunted house. That's where the little tree came from. And I did add the silhouette to it because it has a silhouette to give it like a shadow. And then this little pumpkin right here, that's a button that I just cut off the back portion to it, that you stitch on, so it would be flat. And I added it there. I did add dimension on the shutters and on the sections of the roof. Not the copper or anything else, just the dark gray parts. I added dimension to those. I love it. So this one comes out, and this one does have magnets. But look at how gorgeous that is. So this is where the autumn came from, and it does come with that frame, but it cuts it open, so I had to back it up with some of the designer paper. Here's an Griffin foil sticker. Look at the beautiful pumpkin in the back. I mean, it's gorgeous, but it's just not traditional colors, warm colors. Here's another tree that I did just like if it were in the backyard, and then a pumpkin sticker right there. You know, I used to have all kinds of little embellishments fall because I love fall, and I had a little bucket that I made it look like it was filled up with a bunch of dried leaves, but I must have given all my stuff away, you guys, because I know I didn't use it, and it's nowhere to be found where I keep my embellishments, so I probably gave them away. I camouflaged the magnet with the gate part, so I cut the silhouette and then I cut the gate part on the border for my fence. Look at how gorgeous that is. And this again, this does light up. I don't want it to look like a spooky house, so I like it just left on like it's an evening or early in the morning during the fall, and the house is either just waking up or everybody's just got home from work or wherever, getting ready for dinner, and it's kind of turning a little bit dark, and that's what I wanted it to look warm and cozy like that. And this again, I did the Z fold where it stands. You can display it outside of the box if you want to, and this is what it would look like. And you can open this as far as you want. So you can open it just there, or more. It's up to you how you want to display it. But that is how that would look. It's gorgeous. I love it. Again, I did a 3/8 inch gusset for the box. And right here is where I kind of left the portion that you turn on the buttons right there that you smash. Excuse me. And then in the back, I actually made a hole right there. And I fed the lights to the back, so they would come to the back this way, and it would light up in the back. And I think there's one like down here somewhere, or maybe I covered it up. Yeah, I bet you I covered it up with my pumpkin sticker. That pumpkin sticker is going to have to move because I don't want to do that. So it does have a light down here as well. I have 2 strips of foam tape, and I just ran the light in between those 2 strips. But I love the way this looks. And see how this one does sit up straight because of the double dimensional tape on the bottom helps it stay up, and the magnets. So that helps it sit up straight. And even if you wanted to display it closed, it will look beautiful closed as well. Well, let me show you the outside of the box before I do that. Here is where I added those beautiful corners from Griffin, and I added a strip of those tiny borders that are they're not that old. These are a little bit newer. So I added the strip there and these pieces right here, and I love the way they are so detailed. The embossing is just gorgeous. But see, if I had used gold, because there's gold foiling in the paper, probably would have looked nicer, but I really wanted to use copper, so that's what I did. And you can display it with the lid on top, and my lid fits perfect on top, not too tight and not too loose. And I'm going to tell you how I do that. I might do a tutorial on creating a box, not this particular box, because my friend Carolyn has a tutorial on this particular box, but an easy way, the way I make boxes, and I don't have any trouble, like it really works. But one of the things that I do, let's say this lid on top is not put together yet. I haven't sealed the flaps on it, right? You can see the flaps right there. I'm not sure if I'll go back and decorate. I could if I wanted to. There's probably just, it might be a little bit more snug, but it wouldn't be too bad. Or I might just leave it. Let's say I hadn't glued the tabs down yet. A great way to get a good fit on the lid. I usually cut my lid 1/8 of an inch bigger than my bottom portion of my box. That's one of the things that I do. Another thing that I just figured out today, you can cut them both exactly the same size. You don't have to give yourself the 1/8 of an inch. And that's really did work. So you would just put the lid on top without the tabs being closed. Let's say the tabs are open, right? Let's say this is open and this is open. Just center it on top and tuck in your flaps, the side flaps, and then the top flap nice and snug. And I actually stood mine up so it would stay in place. And then I worked with the top portion. I turned in the side flaps, and then I turned in the top flap. I added glue, and I held it there for a minute, pushing up against my box for a little bit until the glue grabbed, and that gives you the perfect fit. And then I flipped it around to the other side that was not glued and did the same thing. I held it in place. I put glue on the tabs that are on the side. I folded them in and then folded the front flap to the, onto the tabs and held it in place like that. And that gave me the perfect fit without any trouble. Like I glued the tabs too tight or too loose. No, that conforms to the shape or the size of your box. So that's what I did. I hope that you like what I created. So here we go. We have Christmas. Oh, another thing. I gave myself a 1/2 inch more. So the bottom box is 1/2 inch and the shadow box is, I'm sorry, the bottom box is 1.5 inches, and the shadow box is 1.5 inches. In the Christmas one, the bottom box is 1.5 inches, but the top portion, the shadow box portion, was only an inch deep. And you be the judge. There's the Christmas one that's pushing right up against that door. And then here is the one that I gave myself more room. Not only did I give myself more room, but then I added this piece of clamshell plastic that was raised also, so that gave me extra room. And you be the judge on which one you think looks the best. I want to gift one of these to one of the ladies that has been so very giving to me, so nice. You know, as a thank you, I am working on Happy Mail for her. Renee, you tell me which one is your favorite, because I want to send it to you. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone has a great day, and God bless. Bye.